Why do I have to go through probate? My mom had a will. It's perhaps the most common misconception we hear, and we're going to get into that next. Welcome back to the channel featuring the leading probate real estate team in the greater Sacramento area. I'm Brendan Mohr, realtor and certified probate and trust specialist by the California Association of Realtors.
And I'm Bill Heyman. I'm a licensed California professional fiduciary, as well as I'm a licensed California real estate broker. And last but not least, I'm also a registered and bonded California legal document assistant, specializing in uncontested probate.
Now please like this video, subscribe to our channel. Want a no-cost probate service? Every day we help people save thousands of dollars and eliminate headaches with our one-of-a-kind probate administration service and real estate listing combo. If it's in California and real estate needs to be sold, you may qualify. So reach out. Our information is on the channel. We love your calls, texts, emails, and comments. But let's get into it. Why do I have to go through probate? My mom had a will. Now, Bill, you and I have talked about this several times, and it's probably the most common misconception. People will say to me, they find out that I work a lot in probate, and they'll say to me, even people who are very savvy in real estate, oh, probate, that's when somebody dies and they don't have a will. And I have to tell them, no, that's not what happens. And you know, it's funny, anytime I put, sometimes we do other things on our YouTube channel, like video shorts, I put one about executors in probate and what an executor is. And I got comments back, there's no executor in probate. If there's a will, there's no probate. Oh my gosh, that's not the case. So get into this a little bit.
Sure, no, be happy to. Yeah, that you're right, Brendan. That is one of the biggest misconceptions out there. Somebody passes away, they've got a will, son or daughter thinks everything's fine, I don't have to do anything, the house belongs to me automatically. Unfortunately, that's not the case. You pass away, whether you have a will or you don't, if the person who passed away has assets that's greater than $184,500, those assets are just titled in the deceased person's name, you have to go through probate in order to transfer the deceased person's property to the heirs. And that happens whether there's a will or not. A will does not prevent probate. What you have to look at is, again, that monetary figure that's set by the probate code, greater than $184,500, and that's title in the deceased person's name only, you're going through probate, whether you have a will or not.
Somebody maybe wants to avoid probate or has heard that, well, I know somebody who didn't have to go through probate.
Sure.
Why might that be?
Well, the biggest reason is these days is a living trust. You put together a living trust before you pass away and you put your assets into the trust. When you pass away, there's normally no probate. Okay? There are a few other ways that probate can be avoided. We go back to when I was talking about that $184,500 figure of assets that are just in the decedent's name. Well, let's say there was a bank account that mom had that's got $200,000 in it, but the son is on there as a joint tenant. That would not have to go through probate. And that's another way that you can avoid probate with something like that, is having a co-owner on it at the time you pass. There's other potential problems with that. A living trust is probably the best or safest way to avoid probate and avoid some other hassles. But yeah, living trust is probably the most common way to avoid probate.
But a great way to explain it is really, if somebody passed away, even if they had a will, you go to look at the title of the house.
Yes.
How is the house titled?
Yes.
And if there is no living person or entity on title, most likely, or maybe definitely, you have to go through probate.
Yeah, yeah. You can figure in California, if someone passes away and they own a home that's just in their name only, it's 95% sure you've got to go through probate, because most homes in California are worth more than $184,500.
Sure. And one of the common things, somebody just contacted me the other day. They said, hey, I'm trying to buy this house, and someone whose father passed away left it to him in the will. There was no trust. He's named as executor in the will. Can't he sell me the house now? And I told him, in that scenario, there's no trust, even though he's named in the will, even though he's the only heir of the estate.
Yep.
he has to actually start the probate process in
Yeah.
order to do that.
Yeah, you just can't convey title on a house, a bank account, an investment account, if it's in the deceased person's name without probate. There's just no way. There's no way.
Yeah, any other information you'd like to add on this one, Bill?
Yeah, the only other thing I'll add is I mentioned that $184,500 figure. That changes over time. It used to be less than that, then it was increased, and over time, as I guess inflation and prices go up on everything, slowly the probate code increases that amount. So $184,500 is correct as of today, which is March 15th, 2024. It may not be correct a year, 2, 5 years down the road. You should always check the probate code to make sure you're working with the right figure.
Yeah, so make sure you do your research on that. All great information, Bill. Now, what someone really wants to do, if they contact the right probate professional, they're going to get all these questions answered. And the best way to do that is to perhaps watch our video, How Much Does Probate Cost in Sacramento County? It really covers what probate costs in the entire state, who to choose for a probate professional, and really how to get those answers to your questions. That video is going to appear right over Bill's head. Or my head, I don't know.
It'll be somewhere.